Garmin makes some of the best running watches in the world. It also sells some of the worst value watches in the industry. In 2026, buying the wrong Garmin can cost runners hundreds of dollars for features they will never actually use. These are the 5 Garmin watches to stop buying, and 3 that are worth every penny. Number 5. Garmin Marquee Collection, $1,800 to $3,000. The Marquee looks like the crown jewel of the entire lineup. Titanium case, sapphire crystal, a price tag that rivals a boutique watchmaker. Here's the problem for runners. It gives you virtually nothing the Fenix 8 doesn't already do. Marquee Gen 2 still runs on the same software platform as the Fenix 7. Garmin's software focus has clearly shifted to the Fenix 8 platform, with older flagship watches like this one receiving far fewer meaningful feature updates. Very few meaningful new training features. Very few meaningful software additions. None of the running-specific tools the Fenix 8 keeps getting every few months. You are paying the highest amount in Garmin's entire catalog for a watch that has been sidelined from Garmin's current platform, and your GPS accuracy, VO2 max data, and training load numbers won't be any better for it. Put the two side by side. Both measure the same GPS track, the same VO2 max, the same training load, the same recovery data for your next long run. The Fenix 8 keeps getting new training features every few months through free software updates. The Marquee waits for nothing. There is not even an announcement of when or whether a Marquee will ever land on the new platform. What you are paying extra for at the Marquee is material and status, not race day performance. Verdict: the Marquee is an amazing product and a terrible deal for almost any runner who buys one. Number 4. Fenix 7 Pro and Epix Pro Gen 2. Still sold for $800 to $1,000. The Fenix 7 Pro launched in May 2023. 15 months later, in August 2024, the moment the Fenix 8 arrived, major feature development clearly shifted away from the Fenix 7 platform. 15 months. That is roughly how long a flagship watch stayed a development priority before you still find it at flagship prices. Large Reddit threads criticizing Garmin's support policy for the Fenix 7 Pro gained thousands of upvotes, with one post titled, "Has Garmin abandoned the Fenix 7 Pro after just 1.5 years?" One user put it plainly: a watch costing $400 or upwards should be supported for as long as a budget smartphone. Instead, you are paying premium prices for a watch that stopped being a priority. What makes it worse? The Fenix 7 Pro supports ECG in the United States, but Garmin restricts ECG availability in many markets outside the United States. Users don't call that a coincidence. They call it upgrade pressure. The Fenix 8 got that same ECG feature within 6 months of release. And it doesn't stop at ECG. New Garmin Coach training plans for marathon and half-marathon prep, improved recovery scores, a new passcode feature, all shipped to the Forerunners, all shipped to the Fenix 8. Most never made it to the Fenix 7 platform. There is another reason to avoid this watch, and it is not in the software. It is in the screen itself. Some AMOLED Garmin owners, especially Epix users, have reported long-term burn-in on their displays. Letters and icons permanently visible, even when they should not be lit at all. Verdict: you are paying flagship prices for a watch Garmin has already stopped prioritizing. Number 3. Garmin Venu X1, $799.99, nearly the same price bracket as the Fenix 8. Look at what you lose for that money. No multiband GPS, no ECG. Two features that do exist on the cheaper Forerunner 970 at $749. For runners, losing multiband GPS at this price makes very little sense. It's the difference between a clean GPS track through a city or under tree cover on a trail run and one that drifts off your actual route. Turn on the always-on display, the whole reason you would want a smartwatch in the first place, and battery life drops from Garmin's signature multi-week endurance to just 2 days, which won't survive a big training week, let alone race week. Reviewers are strikingly consistent on this. Wearable calls the missing multiband GPS and ECGA sacrifice too far for the price. Tech Radar writes that the always-on display crushes the longevity down to just a few days. Android Central bluntly calls the Venu X1 the most bizarre, misfit watch Garmin has ever made. It is not that the Venu X1 is a bad watch. The screen is the most beautiful thing Garmin has ever built. The problem is the math. Garmin watches are normally supposed to get better the more you spend. More money, more battery, more sensors, more accurate GPS on your long runs. The Venu X1 inverts that logic. Same money, fewer running features, less battery. For hundreds of dollars less, the Forerunner 970 hands you literally more running technology on your wrist, and even the Fenix 8, which costs more than the Venu X1, ultimately gives you more battery life for your money. Verdict: the same price as a real running watch, for a smartwatch that does less than one that costs $250 less. Number 2. Garmin Enduro 3, $899.99. On paper, this looks like one of Garmin's smarter buys. It's cheaper than the Fenix 8. It beats it on battery life by a mile, up to 120 hours in full GPS mode, up to 320 with solar, and 36 days in smartwatch mode. One reviewer called it one of Garmin's most unapologetically niche watches. That's the compliment. It's also the warning, because almost nobody buying this watch needs what it's built for. That battery ceiling exists for one use case: 100-mile ultras, multi-day mountain ultras, and back-to-back long-distance trail races where you genuinely cannot charge a watch for days. Unless you are running 100-mile ultras, multi-day trail races, or back-to-back mountain adventures, you are paying $900 for a reserve tank you will never come close to draining in a normal training block. In exchange, you get a dimmer, lower-resolution MIP screen instead of the Fenix 8's AMOLED display, a single 51mm case size that critics call bulky for daily wear or road running, and no color options. Verdict: an extraordinary tool for a tiny sliver of ultra and trail runners, and absurd overkill for everyone else who buys it anyway because the spec sheet looks impressive. If you are finding these breakdowns useful, subscribe. The last watch on this list is the biggest twist yet. Number 1. Garmin Forerunner 970, $749. By every technical measure, this is one of the best running watches Garmin has ever made. It fixed nearly everything runners asked for after the Forerunner 965. A brighter AMOLED display, a built-in speaker and microphone, ECG, an onboard flashlight, and a training analysis suite built around marathon and half-marathon prep that rivals watches costing hundreds more. Reviewers who tested it side by side with the Fenix 8 found the GPS accuracy nearly identical, mile after mile. This is not a watch with a hidden flaw. The hardware is genuinely excellent. So look at what happened to the price instead. The Forerunner 970 replaced the Forerunner 965, and in the United States the price jumped 25%, from $599 to $749. In the UK, the same watch, the same hardware, went up just 5%. On Garmin's own earnings call, the CFO confirmed that price increases were one of the company's explicit strategies to offset an estimated $100 million in tariff costs in 2025. You are not just paying for a better watch, you are paying to cover Garmin's cost of doing business, and that markup landed almost entirely on customers in one country. At $749, the Forerunner 970 now sits close enough to the Fenix 8 that the gap barely matters. Except the Fenix 8 comes with a more premium build and Garmin's full flagship platform behind it. And 2025 was also the year Garmin started charging for features inside the app through Connect Plus, an ecosystem tax that lands hardest on exactly the buyers who just paid the most for their hardware. The hardware improved. The value did not. Verdict: the Forerunner 970 might be the best running watch Garmin has ever made, and that is exactly why it may be one of Garmin's worst purchases in 2026. 5 watches, 1 pattern. You are paying for status, for a name stuck on an old platform, for capability you will never use on a normal training block, or for a hardware price hike dressed up as innovation. None of these 5 problems live in the watches themselves. They live in the decisions Garmin makes around them. Now, 3 watches where those same decisions actually work in your favor as a runner and where your money lands exactly where it should. Number 3. Worth it. Garmin Forerunner 165 and Forerunner 570. $250 to $549. This is where performance and price actually meet. The Forerunner 165 is the entry point. A full coaching ecosystem, recovery metrics, and race predictions that actually hold up on race day at the lowest price Garmin charges for those training tools. Step up to the Forerunner 570 and you get more accurate GPS for city runs and tree-covered trails, better race pacing, and more advanced tools for half marathon and marathon training, including full course-by-course pacing strategy. Neither watch has been cut off from Garmin's current platform, and neither one needs a subscription to plan a training block. For comparison, the Coros Pace 3 costs around $249 and delivers roughly 38 hours of GPS battery against 20 hours on the comparable Garmin Forerunner 265. Useful if your long runs and back-to-back training days regularly outlast a charge. That is a fair alternative worth considering, but it also shows that Garmin, unlike with the Venu X1 or the Marq, actually stays competitively priced here for what you get. From the Forerunner 165's entry-level coaching tools to the Forerunner 570's multi-band GPS and race pacing strategy, this is exactly the segment where price follows performance instead of the other way around. Neither watch is likely to get cut off from new training features anytime soon, simply because they run on the same platform as the rest of Garmin's current lineup. Verdict: this is the part of the lineup where Garmin is still building for the runner instead of the margin. Number 2. Worth it. Garmin Instinct 3 and Instinct Solar, $300 to $500. This watch looks cheap. That is deliberate, intentional. Military-grade durability standard. Reinforced housing. Solar-charged battery that, in smartwatch mode, with a few hours of direct sunlight a day, can run essentially indefinitely, which matters for trail runners logging long training blocks without a daily charge. Not a marketing claim. An engineering spec confirmed by ultra runners and mountaineers on multi-day routes who never touch a charger. Every design choice that makes the Instinct look less premium is exactly the choice that lets it survive mud, drops, stream crossings, and weeks without power on a demanding trail training cycle. Compare that to the Venu X1 earlier in this video, where the standout design choice is the screen, and the battery is what pays for it. With the Instinct, it's the reverse. Nothing about the look is there to impress, and everything is there to survive your longest runs. Exposed hardware, a plastic case, a simple display. The Instinct prioritizes durability and battery life over premium materials and display quality, and that trade-off is exactly the point. Verdict: if trail running and long days outside are where you actually train, this watch is more useful than anything higher on this list. Number 1. Worth it. Garmin Fenix 8, $999 to $1,200. Put the Fenix 8 next to the other two bad examples in this video, and the contrast is immediate. The same performance data as the Marq for a third of the price. Multi-band GPS and ECG that the Venu X1 lacks for the same money, both of which matter on race day. Full access to Garmin's newest platform instead of the gap Fenix 7 Pro owners are stuck feeling. Since launch, Garmin has kept expanding the Fenix 8 for free, significantly faster GPS lock times, new activity types, an expanded battery management feature that matters across a long training block. That is exactly the kind of support the Marq and the Fenix 7 Pro have been denied. This is the watch the rest of this video measures itself against. Not because it's flawless, but because here, the price actually matches what's in your hands. Verdict: if you genuinely live at this level, ultra distances, multi-day trail races, marathon training blocks that demand everything Garmin makes, this is the watch that earns its price. Just be honest with yourself about whether that's actually you. The best Garmin watch is not always the most expensive. It is not always the newest. The smartest runners know exactly why.